Aircraft projects worldwide sometimes fail to get off the ground, and this doesn't inherently mean that they were terrible for the plane maker, but maybe things like the timing is off, there's a lack of interest, or the costs are too significant. Many fantastic concepts from the late 1990s emerged, but in recent times there have been fewer aircraft programs that have been studied as potential alternatives for customers. Insert the Boeing NMA, dubbed by many to be the 797. It was the most talked about potential aircraft release during the late 2010s and was on the lips of every analyst at air shows amongst much more. However, today, as 2023 comes to a close, yes, time is absolutely flying, the aircraft remains out of the industry with no new developments. But what was the NMA, why wasn't it released, and what is Boeing's forward thinking? The Boeing NMA, which was informally referred to as the 797, was a concept for a new commercial airliner designed to fill the gap in the, you guessed it, middle of the market. The middle of the market segment typically includes aircraft with, say, capabilities of sitting between 150 to 250 passengers and can efficiently cover medium-range routes pretty well. It is an important market, and one during the late 2010s that some analysts predicted would see the need for 4,000 aircraft across future decades. So there was no doubt a healthy market available to manufacturers willing to dip their toes into it. The Boeing NMA was intended to serve as a successor to the aging 757 and compete with the popular A321neo series, which at this point, and you could argue still to this day, has gained a pretty strong foothold in this market segment, thanks to the lack of Boeing aircraft to fit in a similar area. As Boeing had yet to replace the 757, for customers that were still hanging onto this iconic flying pencil, this NMA was maybe what they had been hoping for. Some, though, couldn't be as patient and had already switched to Airbus or gone to another aircraft program with Boeing, but still, these ones from Boeing may not have replaced their 757 in the most ideal manner. Sources and analysts within the industry outlined some potential specifications of such an NMA. However, it's crucial to understand that this was never confirmed by Boeing, and with it being very much in the development stages, there was a lot of uncertainty. Initially, we saw labels of the -6 and -7X. These variants would both be able to carry over 200 passengers in a two-class configuration, with the range very much altering, but at its lowest point, it would be 4,500 nautical miles. But you would imagine that for the larger -7, well, that is where the range would be lower, but the capacity would be higher. A theme that we see for other aircraft programs at Airbus and Boeing. Why would there be a need for an NMA at the end of the day? Well, one of the largest areas of focus is the true demand that we see in the market. The middle of the market segment continues to be, some would argue, underserved, with airlines seeking more efficient, technologically advanced, and also economically viable solutions for medium-haul routes, as their existing planes begin to age. The 757 is included in this. Competition from Airbus also remained a persistent focal point for why many people believed that Boeing needed to begin progressing with a new aircraft type, and especially a clean sheet. And not for the first time, I'll mention, look no further than the A321neo series, particularly the A321XLR. This is the extra long-range variant and was launched in 2019. It is the newest variant to be launched and has gained significant popularity already. It offers airlines a versatile and also efficient option for long-haul routes that maybe were potentially operated by the 757, but what it also does is allow further capabilities on an existing platform thanks to advancements. Many believed Boeing needed a response to maintain a stance in this market, which makes sense. Other compelling reasons also existed though, such as the desire to continue innovating, offering new products, and probably bridging the gap better between the 737 MAX and the 787, which, remember, used to have the 757 and 767 between it, but nowadays, there's nothing there. However, we know Boeing would eventually not proceed with the NMA. Well, why is this? At the end of the day, it seems like a very lucrative market, and they'd be letting Airbus run away with it. Boeing essentially chose to prioritize the development of new advanced technologies that would be available in the 2030s and apply this to a new aircraft then. The company believed it could create a more revolutionary and also competitive aircraft by delaying the NMA project and focusing on these technologies. It's a pretty risky proposition, as it relies on the technology that they speak of actually being ready in the ideal timeframe, while in the meantime, Airbus remains unrivaled in the segment, but it is a wait that could pay off according to some, while others are in the camp of the firm belief that Boeing actually has no choice but to delay the entry into service because they've missed the boat, and Airbus has gotten one up on them. I'd love to hear where you stand on that matter down below in the comments. At the time of this NMA discussion, we also know that Boeing began experiencing significant troubles with its MAX program. This is their best-selling aircraft, so therefore we saw no doubt the focused shift to this plane in ensuring that it was fit to fly again. Boeing would then experience 787 problems, and to top it all off, we had the arrival of the global pandemic. Demand therefore plummeted for air travel across the board, and it seemed probably not the right time to launch a clean sheet commercial airliner. Had all of what I touched on not happened, well, we have a very different scenario, and you will always be left with the whats, ifs, buts, and maybes. But that is not the reality of what took place. Boeing's choice to focus on future technology may certainly offer them long-term benefits, as it positions the company to maybe leapfrog competitors with a more advanced aircraft that is finally revolutionary. However, what it does also do is leave the middle of the market segment unaddressed for an extended period. We're talking over a decade. This will allow Airbus to maintain and also strengthen its dominance in the segment, not just by offering its aircraft to customers, but also by establishing solid relationships with potentially previous Boeing customers. So, the next time an aircraft order is required, maybe this is in the 2030s, and Boeing are putting up their new aircraft with new technologies, that A321 program that has excelled now might just be what swings the customer once more to head back in the direction of Airbus and not head towards Boeing, remembering just what the past decade at this point would have held for them. The success of Boeing's strategy will depend on the company's ability to actually bring those game-changing technologies to the market that it talks about, and many would say return to what we know and have loved about Boeing in the many past decades: innovation and a desire to bring the A-game to absolutely every product. Time will tell, but there are no plans at the moment for an NMA to release. You can debate below in the comments whether you believe this is a mistake, or if you think the aircraft in 2030 will solidify what they're saying now and be a true game changer and welcome in thousands of orders. Thank you very much for tuning into this video right here on GlobeTrotting. I really do appreciate the support. Take care and do be safe, and I'll see you next time for some more analysis on the industry. And we'll fly.